We are the ones in the wrong.
What is Cynthia Erivo feeling like she's in the wrong about? I thought Wicked had a good opening. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. First off, Happy Trumpsgiving, everybody. I ended up getting something to eat, and then I was kind of incapacitated, and now I'm finally coming to again. I saw this earlier today, and I was like, what are you going on about? And for anybody that wants to correct me, I know that that is not Cynthia Erivo from Wicked. Sorry if all bald people look alike to me. Clearly, I know that this is Dennis Rodman's mother. Just kidding. I know it's Joy Reid from MSNBC. I'm gonna play her full video, and then by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you and tell you what Trump sent out for Thanksgiving and how people should really handle a holiday like this. But let me tell you, it has been a mess for Thanksgiving. The anti-Israel protesters tried to shut down the Macy's parade in New York. And I guess they call them anti-Israel because pro-Palestine makes them sound as crazy as they are, because that's what they are, is pro-Palestine. And if you know me, you know I am not on any level pro-Palestine. For everybody that wants to say that I'm a self-hating gay, if I really hated myself, I would be pro-Palestine. I know that they're not open to me. I am not open to them. But it got shut down within 5 minutes. That's how long they held up the Macy's parade. It happened right as they were bringing out Ronald McDonald, which you should know not to mess with Ronald McDonald if you want to talk about an American institution. And I am tired of the forced activism, because that's what it is when these people decide to have these protests in the middle of the Macy's parade. And when you decide to shut it down or attempt to shut it down, you are basically forcing everybody there to be a part of your protest, whether they want to or not. And we as the American public should not be subject to that. I don't know about all of my subscribers, and I don't pretend to speak for all of you, but I think the police handling that in 5 minutes and not wasting any time is a preview of what Trump's America is going to look like. And I'll tell you, I am 100% here for it. I am tired of being held hostage by people that, in my opinion, are standing up for nonsense. If you disagree, let me know in the comments, but that's where I'm at on it. So let's allow Joy Reid to have her cope.
We are the ones in the wrong. In short, our dinner, their choice.
Your dinner, whose choice? Because I don't really think anybody that supported Trump is going to invite Joy Reid to a Thanksgiving dinner. If you've been watching her for the last couple of weeks, she's been telling people to cut off your families for the holidays if they're Trump supporters. And we all know what we're going to get if we invite a Joy Reid out. And I think this is the biggest cope, is her pretending that she had invitations from right-wingers. Because you know she's just going to bum everybody out.
It's the same energy their forefathers had toward the indigenous tribes. Hey, let's have Thanksgiving dinner on the land we stole from you. But before we pack you off to the reservation and snuff out your culture, could you please pass the corn on the cob?
I love how everybody pretends to care about Native Americans on Thanksgiving and Columbus Day. Those are the two times that people pretend to care about Native Americans. And I think it's extra insulting that so many people from so many different races actually have said throughout the years that they've got Native American blood, which who knows if they are or aren't, but it just seems like a lot of people claim Native American, but then never show actual proof. I'm beginning to think that a lot of these people are part of the same tribe that Elizabeth Warren was part of. But even if you don't take any of that into account, just take note of the fact that you don't hear anybody bringing up the Native Americans at any other time. It's only Thanksgiving and Columbus Day, and that's because those are the two times a year when people can really milk the Native American struggle. By the way, a lot of people probably don't even know that today, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, is actually Native American Heritage Day.
There's the dozens of post-Civil War massacres wiping out black communities from Louisiana to North Carolina to Rosewood, Florida, and Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So even you admit it wasn't all bad. Oh yeah, don't let me forget. Before we go any further, Please like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. It seems like just yesterday we were at 50,000 and now we're approaching 60,000. So we're doing great right now. I just need you to help me out by doing your part. Subscribe and click the bell notification so you get all notifications and not just the customized ones. I don't even know what that means when it says customized ones, but just go to the bell and make sure that you click where it says all notifications so you'll see all videos I have coming out. Anyway,
where black communities got burned to the ground by racist white mobs, a century later gentrified when rich folks want to live downtown because it's closer to work.
And are these rich folks only white? Because I'm tired of people pretending like the only rich people in this country are white people. Especially as a person that knows quite a few successful black people and quite a few successful Latinos and quite a few successful Asians. I know so many people of different ethnicities, including white, that are very successful. So now that these neighborhoods have been gentrified, yeah, it may be rich people living there, but it's rich people of all colors. This country does have a history, and I get that, but I'm just tired of people bringing that up. And how are we ever supposed to move forward if we just keep talking about the past? If you're going to make it entertaining and fun, and you just want to educate people, or you don't even have to make it fun, you can just make it entertaining, then why don't you do that? But complaining about it or acting like the world is still this super racist place, I don't know what that does for us. And I don't even believe it's an accurate representation of what's going on in this country at this moment.
But let's just call it even, because y'all got King Day, a black president, and Juneteenth. Geez, what more do you want? Accurate history? What, are you trying to hurt our feelings?
Well, you also have February, which is Black History Month. How many days do we have for trans people? How many days do we have for Latinos? We just had Latino Heritage Month, and that was a full month. We have Native American Heritage Day. Everybody else seems to have a month, but the Native Americans get a day. But that's what we supposedly started talking about. But she right away goes back to black issues. So are you really sincere in when you bring up the natives? Or, like I said, are they just a tool for you?
These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here.
Yeah, and we saw how that turned out for the natives, so why would we allow somebody else to do that to us? Even if that terrible history was created by our country, at least we learned from our mistake and we're like, okay, well, that's why we don't want a bunch of other people coming from another place, because they'll do the same thing and then we'll all be on reservations too. So is that what you would prefer, Joy? Is that now we go to the reservations? Because I don't wanna.
Have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice to overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. And it hasn't been like that for a long time. So the fact that we're finally doing something about that after all of these years, it's time, Joy. And most of the country does agree with that part. I don't know what world you're living in, because almost everything I see in regular life and also online is a lot of people agreeing that we need to stop giving our resources to immigrants when our people, our actual citizens, have needs themselves.
But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes?
Now, when you say consequences, are you implying that right-wingers really want leftists to have dinner with them bad enough that that's actually considered a consequence if you don't? Technically, right now, we don't want your long faces around us anyway.
You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice.
First off, I'm tired of people with the fascism. Look up fascism and then look at the kind of stuff the left has been pulling and the way that they conduct themselves, and then tell me which side more closely resembles fascism. And we certainly don't feel like no fair. It's like, all right, cool, then don't come around.
Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA.
Okay, I don't know who's having Democrats cook for them. It's not like, my friend, she's a miserable Democrat, but have you ever had her green bean casserole? Or, oh yeah, Melinda, miserable, blue-haired liberal, but her stuffing is off the chart. Nobody ever says this stuff, so I don't know why you think that we're not going to be able to feed ourselves. I personally went to Golden Corral, I gotta admit it. I was home alone and and I had work to do, and I was like, I'll just swoop into the Golden Corral real quick, have some dinner, not have to mix and mingle with Democrat or Republican. For me, Thanksgiving was a nonpartisan issue. I just needed to get something to eat and then come back and work again. But I don't know a single right-winger, as she puts it, that is not going to be able to feed themselves because liberals aren't going to make them dinner.
Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears.
What do you mean tears? I don't know anybody that's not overjoyed right now when it comes to the right. We all got the president that we wanted. There's no tears to be wiped and nobody needs to console us. What are you even talking about? Have you lost touch with reality? Are you not taking your meds? What's going on, Cynthia?
Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone.
Yeah, well, that's what Trump did, and that's what I wanted to bring up. It's a good time to bring that up right now. Here's a statement that Trump had put out on X, which is absolutely hilarious to me. Happy Thanksgiving to all, including the radical left lunatics who have worked so hard to destroy our country, but who have miserably failed and will always fail because their ideas and policies are so hopelessly bad that the great people of our nation just gave a landslide victory to those who want to make America great again. Don't worry, our country will soon be respected, productive, fair, and strong, and you will be more than ever before proud to be an American. So he even thanked the lunatics, and then he put out a video, and people were mad about it, but it's actually a really entertaining and fun little video.
If this turkey tastes half as good as it looks, I think we're all in for a very big treat.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
Okay, Adam.
It's fun. It's just a 35-second quick video of Trump photoshopped in Christmas Vacation. And he has Adam Schiff. He has Jill Biden. He has Joe Biden that was cutting the turkey, obviously, carving the turkey. Chuck Schumer, AOC, Ilhan Umar, or is it Omar? Whatever it is. Kamala. It's just a fun little video. And if you remember, back when Trump did that dance, everybody was making fun of him. And I think that's what really pisses people off about Trump, is that everything they do to like make him feel stupid or make him look stupid, he ends up turning into a positive and it ends up going viral. Like that dance has been used so many times and in so many GIFs and so many memes, and people do, whether they admit it or not, get a kick out of his antics. And so when you've got him coming in with a sense of humor, and I know people were like, this is really petty and I expect better from the president. Well, one, he's not the president yet. And two, I'm tired of everybody acting like the president is always such a respectful position. If you remember, one of our most beloved presidents was John F. Kennedy, and him and his brother Bobby Kennedy were running trains on Marilyn Monroe. Bill Clinton was getting blowjobs in the Oval Office by an intern. And who knows who else Bill Clinton was doing what with. Let's not talk about a certain island that people don't like to talk about that Bill Clinton may or may not have been to several times. So what are we doing exactly? Sure, Barack Obama was cool enough to live a quiet, dignified life with his husband, Michael. I just love that rumor. I don't care if it's true or not. I just love the idea that Michelle Obama is Big Mike Obama. I just think it's funny. But never mind drone strikes or anything like that. Obama was definitely outwardly a very dignified man. So I get if you want to say that. But at the same time, with what we know now, was he really that great? Did a cook just not die? Never mind. Let's not even talk about that. But can we stop acting like the president is always so dignified? Because that is just not an accurate portrayal. George W. Bush, I lived through him. He was an idiot. I mean, like, he was fun too. He was another one. Like, people voted for him because they felt like they could have a beer with him. Never mind the fact that that was a little bit of a facade because he's not exactly the Texan he pretends to be, even though he is West Texas. But let's not get into all of this, or Google it and do get into it. But all I'm trying to say is, can we stop acting like The president has always been an upstanding citizen that only does the right thing. Donald Trump is a fun troll, and that's why some of us like him. So when you're saying troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone, that's exactly what's happening, and people are still trying to complain about it. I mean, you're really just mad because Donald Trump has won against all odds. You guys put everything up against him. Kamala also had $1 billion at her disposal and went over by $20 million. Some people, from what I'm hearing, allegedly aren't being paid for their work. There are people that have been screwed behind that, but nobody's talking about that. Instead, we're just worried about the fact that Donald Trump is having fun trolling and has turned every negative, including the attempts on his life, into a positive. Like the one that got the closest when he got his ear grazed or shot, or however you want to put that, whatever the claim is, whatever the actual story is. You all know what I'm talking about. The incident that happened with Donald Trump's ear. Let's put it that way. And that has now become an iconic moment in American history, whether people like it or not. That will go down as an iconic moment. And then you bring up the fact that he's a felon. That too. All of this just adds to his legend. There is no downside to any of what you guys have tried to do. And that's what really bothers you, is that he still has a sense of humor about it. He's still fun enough to be a troll. And I know some people don't like that, but I personally love having a troll for a president because I want a president that represents me. And if you're not familiar with my online presence, I am definitely a troll. So here we are. That is my president, and I'm proud he represents me.
You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers, see?
Why you gotta bring up old shit? Everyone has a past, Joy. But also, let's not talk about the fact that there is footage of some of the police actually letting people pass the barricade. So some of that is debatable as well. I'm not gonna get into it with you guys. But again, Google it.
You did it just by voting this time. Congrats.
Thank you. I'm very proud of you for admitting that it was fair and square, and I will accept your congratulations.
You got your way.
Yep, sure did.
And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay.
Feel nothing about it.
But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much.
I don't need a cookie, a hug, or a high five. I'm happy that my guy is actually gonna be in office. And for me, that is plenty. I don't need any of that from the voters that you mentioned. And I know they're saying it's not the landslide that it was, but I don't want to be conspiracy theory, but I think they're just saying that to save face because Trump definitely did win and they don't want it to look as embarrassing as it was. But that could be me turning a little bit QAnon. I doubt I'd ever be QAnon, but it's fun to imagine that maybe I could go off the deep end like that. Let's see where it goes.
If we want to eat with you, we will.
That's if you're invited, Joy. Because like I already said, you guys are being such sore losers and such wet blankets about this that I really don't feel like a lot of right-wingers would want to invite you to dinner. It just seems like a shitty way to spend your holiday, just you sitting there talking about white privilege and the racial injustices throughout history and the Native Americans and whatever else you're going to try to talk about. And also you being bald-headed right now and a bunch of bald chicks running around trying to act like them withholding sex is an actual punishment to people. I mean, I don't always talk about what's going on with that stuff, but I have seen the ridiculousness of it, and I do get like, okay, I don't really know who wants to hang out with these unhinged people in the first place. So you might have a little less choice in the if we want to have dinner with you, we will situation than you're pretending to.
But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey.
Okay, well, if you're eating tofurkey, it's no wonder nobody wants to celebrate with you anyway. I don't know a single person that thinks of tofurkey as anything that anybody wants to eat on the holidays. Tofu turkey, that's what tofurkey is. You can keep your tofurkey and gluten-free mashed potatoes. We lose out on nothing by not having a tofurkey dinner for Thanksgiving with you. And also, what's to troll about? We already won. So I doubt anybody's really going to troll you at this point. You just show up, keep your mouth shut, don't offer anybody any of your tofurkey.
Get over it.
How is it we're the ones that need to get over it when you guys are the ones that are crying right now? Is this what they call gaslighting? Because that doesn't feel like reality. Again, I don't know a single person on the right that is angry right now. Everybody's happy on the right. And they try to make it seem like it's only the traditional right, but there's a lot of people that voted for Trump that didn't vote for Trump last time. And you can try to make it seem like the numbers are something different than they are, or it wasn't really as many people that voted for him as it was originally reported. But I remember 2016. I remember it vividly because I had voted for Trump that time too. I had voted for Trump all 3 times. Trump has been my guy from the very beginning. I am not new to this. And so I remember in 2016, the way everybody on the left was so miserable and crying, and the whole tone of it and everything he said, everybody was going crazy about, and it was the end of the world as far as they went. I remember the way that felt, and I remember what the tone was. And if you notice, this time around, that is not the tone. If you look at any of the posts people are putting up on the different blogs as far as Instagram and Facebook and X, you see that people of all different races and all different backgrounds with a lot of the stuff that they're reporting are like, yeah, well, that's kind of what he's there for. That's what he said he's going to do. So that's what it needs to be. And so I'm not following when it comes to that part. I don't know what we have to get over. And I don't know a lot of even traditional liberals right now that have that much to get over. I think a lot of people secretly voted for him that are also very happy with what's going on, but rather than just say that, they're just being quiet. And that's why it's not the same outrage that it was last time around. I guess we'll find out for sure in January, but that's what it's looking like.
Stop acting like we owe you, and for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing.
How is it you're in the middle of a whine fest, but you're telling the rest of us to stop whining? Who is whining right now? We got our guy. What is to whine about? I don't feel like this rant is at all based in reality, and I feel like it should be reported as fake news, because that's not what's going on right now. You are really lost in your head, and I don't mean to lose it this way myself, but this just is not based in reality on any level. What is happening?
Our Thanksgiving, our choice.
Well, I guess since you don't have a choice when it comes to your bodies anymore, you might as well exercise the right to have your Thanksgiving the way that you want it. So I get you there.
And when we come back, I have a special announcement that you are not going to want to miss.
If that announcement isn't that you've been fired and you will never be on TV again, I doubt it's an announcement that I won't want to miss. Anyway, you guys, this was just a video to show you the difference between the way that the left is handling it right now versus the way that the right is handling it right now. And I can tell you that there's not a lot of that version of the left there. I mean, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they're making themselves heard through social media, TikTok mainly, but there's not really a lot of the outrage left over. I think people just got tired of it, even people on the left. And like the other day, I was talking about purity tests and people having these purity tests that they always want us all to measure up to. And I think people on all sides have gotten tired of that, where it's just sort of like, yeah, I don't want to be constantly under a microscope and held to some standard, and I've got to completely go along with 100% of what either side says. And I could be wrong on that. I could be reading it the wrong way. But what I am noticing is a lot of people do just want to live their lives. A lot of people do just want to get some of these costs that we're dealing with in everyday life down. And if we can get that and we can have some peace and not constantly have people protesting and burning stuff down and thinking it's okay to shut down events like parades, or anytime people have joy trying to snatch that away, or we're not allowed to say Merry Christmas. Instead, we've got to say Happy Holidays, and we have to recognize people as being whatever made up gender they come up with. I think everybody's just tired of that. And if it means that you've got to get rid of that that extreme left part until they get it together or until they change their tactics, then I think most everyday people are willing to do that, because there's no way to just take part of that. When it comes to the right, a lot of us just take parts of it. And that's what a lot of the left doesn't really understand, is a lot of people on the right, and I mean a lot, disagree on a lot of things. But that's all it is. We just disagree. We move on. Of course, there's always going to be the extremists, and there are the extremists on the right. Like, maybe one day I'll make a video about Nick Fuentes and his crew and how ridiculous I think he is. There definitely is the extreme right. But in my dealings with the right, and I've been to 3 Trump rallies and dealt with a lot of people from the right, my dealings with people on the right are, for the most part, that they will just disagree with you. You may have a debate with them. You may even have a heated debate with them. But at the end of that debate, you go back to being friends. Nobody loses their job. Nobody gets completely ostracized from the group that they hang out with. It's just like, yeah, we don't agree on that. And that's what it is. On the left, it's like you have to take it all. And it's like I say with everything else. When you tell people you can either take all of this or you can take none of this, most people are going to say, okay, then I guess I'll take none of this, because I'm not taking all of anything from anybody. We don't take all of anything, even from the people that are closest to us in our lives. There are always places that we have to put down boundaries. There will always be places where we disagree with other people. And the left just doesn't allow for that. So when that's the way you come at it, then don't be surprised when you're alone on Thanksgiving or you're whining because you don't feel like any place is a safe space. Safe spaces are gone. We've all had enough. Please comment down below and let me know how your Thanksgiving was. Also, let me know what you think about Joy's little speech here. Let me know what you think about Trump's reaction. If you guys want to see some other videos from me, click either of the ones on the screen. Thank you for watching. As always, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.